All right, welcome to The Explainer. So, we've gotten really used to AI that can talk to us, write things, even create images. But what about an AI that can actually do things? Today, we're digging into a new kind of AI that's designed not just to give you answers, but to get things done for you. I want you to think about your to-do list for a second. You know that endless scroll of tasks for work, and then all those little errands you have to run in your personal life? What if you could just hand it all off? Not to a person, but to an AI. That's the exact problem we're talking about today.
So, we've all gotten pretty familiar with AI chatbots like ChatGPT, right? You ask a question, you get an answer. But now there's a totally new category of AI starting to emerge. And this one isn't built for conversation, it's built for action. The whole point? To get rid of those tedious tasks and just free up your time.
Okay, so what is this new technology really? Well, right at the heart of this big shift is a platform called Manus AI, and it's being developed by a startup called Manus.
The core idea here is something called a fully autonomous AI agent. And the keyword, the most important word, is goal. See, instead of giving it a specific command, you just give it an objective. And from there, it figures out the steps, it finds the tools it needs, and it sees the whole project through from start to finish, all with almost no help from you.
And this is probably the best way to think about the difference. A traditional AI like ChatGPT, it's like a super smart encyclopedia. It gives you information. But an AI agent like Manus, that's more like having a personal intern. You don't tell the intern how to do the research step by step. You just tell it what final report you need. And get this? This isn't just some cool concept floating around in a lab. The whole idea of an AI that does things is attracting some really serious money from the biggest names in tech. $500 million. Yeah, according to Bloomberg, that's the incredible new valuation of Manus AI. Now, to put that into perspective, its value just quintupled. That is a massive signal that investors are confident this technology is the real deal.
And you got to look at who is placing these bets. The new funding round was reportedly led by Benchmark, which is one of the most respected, top-tier venture capital firms in Silicon Valley. When a firm like that leads a funding round, believe me, the entire tech world stops and pays attention. And they're joining other big players who are already in, like Tencent.
So, okay, a $500 million valuation is one thing, but how does this tech actually go from being a concept on a slide to something you or I might actually use every day? Let's break down how it's supposed to work. The whole idea here is to make it super simple. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to write some complex, perfect prompt. You just state your goal in plain English. And then the AI agent takes over. It plans the steps. It grabs the right tools like, a web browser or a spreadsheet, and it just gets to work. You basically just sit back and wait to review the final result.
And you can immediately see how this could work for, well, everything. At work, you could just say, generate a full competitor analysis report, and it would go out, research websites, pull the data, and build the whole document. Or for your personal life, hey, book a sushi place nearby for 2 people at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and it would actually interact with a reservation app and do it. It could even plan and book your entire next vacation. Wild?
But of course, with all this promise and all this money, you have to ask the big question: how well does it actually work right now? It's time to put the hype up against the reality.
On one hand, you've got this incredible optimism. One of our sources, the tech blog Grab Programming, really captures it perfectly. They called Manus a fully autonomous agent that's set to reshape the future. And you can just feel the excitement in that statement, right? The potential to finally kill off mundane work for good. Okay, but here comes the reality check. TechCrunch, which also reported on that massive funding round, actually got to test an early demo of Manus. And their takeaway was that it didn't work quite as well as advertised. And that's a classic story with this kind of groundbreaking tech, isn't it? The vision is always a few steps ahead of where the product is today. And all of this leaves us with that one huge question. With hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank and this incredible vision to automate our to-do lists, are we really looking at the beginning of the end for boring, mundane work? Or is the dream of a truly capable, fully autonomous AI assistant still pretty far away? That's what we'll all be watching.